So I say I'm not sure why I got picked, but um, I have theories, so I'll explain that. I know why I got picked. I know others have been picked. And if we all talk about it, we can come to the good conclusions. Not that we have much time left. Uh, but I woke up on December 14th to realize I loved myself. And then a week later, I had the tantric sexual experience where I gave my heart to another person. And I believe that was a key step on the path, is that our two hearts became one, our two minds became one. We connected on a spiritual level. All these idiots having sex the way they are, you'll never do it if you got to feel the other person. You got to, man, doesn't matter. Anyway, on September 21st, the fall equinox, when I woke up, my brain connected. Uh, Men, you have the mind, uh, half of the mind, and women have the other half of the mind. It's at the stem of your neck. If you're in the flow and you're really doing it, you'll feel it tingle. Confirmation. uh, but the two sides in the back connected, and in the mind, all the thoughts are there, but the heart will tell you the truth. It's kind of like the flashlight. So the supernatural abilities come from the back stem of your brain. You, on the right side you got the mind, and on the left side you got what the emotional part, the heart. And then the two lobes of the right and left brain is to match your emotions with your senses. And what I mean by that is you're never supposed to be fear, anger, guilt, resentful. You're never supposed to pick those emotions. So your senses always are discombobulated with your feelings. So there's no connection. But once you find empathy for everybody, I don't want to make a video on empathy, but once you find empathy for everybody, the brain connects in the middle. The right and the left lobe become connected, and you're in tune to the universe around you. You can then see when someone lies to you. You can feel it, because their emotion doesn't match their senses. They're talking to you, but they're telling you a lie, so their emotions don't match. It's a neat trick. But what triggered at that point was the psycho walk questions. And I call them that because you can see videos online of man, my hair is out of control today. But anyway, you can see videos online of people trapped in psych wards, and they're just pacing really fast and they're talking to themselves. They're answering the questions. They've triggered the thing in them that it's time to make the choices. But see, the choices are really hard. So I'm not the only one that's been asked the questions. I think I'm the only one that answered them correctly. The first set of questions is about yourself. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And the answer to that question is nothing. God made me perfect. But I ran into a dude in the psych ward. His name was Roosevelt. He was very good, but he was telling me how he had generated 36 superpowers already. And which means to me he was on the first set of questions. Because, you know, and I think what happens if you select a bunch of superpowers, you create a species of animals, and then you have all those superpowers, but you live in a world where you're an animal. Look at the octopus, how crazy it is. It's camouflage, it's got poison, it's got the strongest beak. Like, that sort of thing was probably created by somebody doing the psycho questions. We make the universe around us. The person at the top of the pyramid of consciousness makes the most. The king and queen make the second most. The archons, or whatever you want to call it, make the third most. And then all the followers have really no ability to make the world around them, which is why it seems like it's bullshit. The world around us is made by the people at the top. and understand there's billions of universes, there's millions of timelines. It's really a confusing thing. That's how the Mandela effect thing goes. I'll explain that too at some point. But the second set of questions was more or less about myself too. Do you want to be the richest man? Do you want to be the most powerful man? Do you want to be? Do you want to be? Do you want to be? Um, and I could imagine in either this life or a previous life. I don't know how it works if you pick wrong, but like Donald Trump probably picked to be the most powerful man or the richest man. Elon Musk probably picked to be the richest man, either in a previous life or this one. I don't know. Madonna or Taylor Swift probably wanted to be the most popular person. But I got asked all those questions. Do you want to be do you want to be the richest? Do you want to be the smartest? Do you want to be, do you want to be, do you want to be? And my answer was, I don't want to be anything but what God made. I'm just Kevin. I don't want a bunch of money. It's a temptation. I don't want a bunch of power. It's a temptation. Like my influence is to just speak with my silver tongue and hopefully people listen. That was the answer to the question. I am who I am. Next up was if I wanted to start a religion, what religion would I start? In those questions, you get a choice. Do you want to be the one monotheistic God, or do you want to have a table of people with you to help? And then if you do start a religion, do you want 5 yeses or 10 no's? Which the 5 yeses is Islam and the 10 no's is Judaism. Well, the answer to that question is, I'm not God. I'm Kevin. I wouldn't want to influence the world as God. That's ridiculous. God is the Almighty. He's in charge. And as I was going through, I had to answer all these questions, and I think it's so that the people that everybody has free will, so your consciousness picks your path. So my religion, the church of me, has 5 yeses, and it's love yourself, love one other at a time anyway. Marriage is silly if it's just the one person. You'll never find the right one. And then love your community, your family, everybody around you. Love the creation, love the creation, and accept your path. You're not in charge of the world around you. I can manifest anything in the fuck I want to. I don't. It's not my job. My job's to walk my path. I'm homeless. I can't see my kids. Everybody that I could share love with is nowhere near. I'm isolated from the world, all by design. The guy that was in charge of level 7 and 8 is doing it to me because he wants to stay in charge. And I don't care. Like, bro, you can't control this. It's over. And not only is it over, you're okay. Like, you tried your ass off. Understand? Oh, yeah. Sorry, the next set of questions was, do you want to rule your country for 200 years or the universe for 2,000? Imagine being asked that. Do you want to rule your country for our country for 200 years or your universe for 2,000? And as I was processing that question, and these things took a lot. I walked around the block a million times. I had energy like you wouldn't fucking believe. That's the psycho walk questions when they're in their cells. That shit's so mean because you got energy that you've never felt before. Nowadays, I'm just comfortable with the energy level, but back then it was the first attempt at first time having that sort of level of energy. It was wild. And your brain's all connected and it's thinking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's like, I don't know, it's such a relief that you're finally whole and you can do whatever you want, and you can blah 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 blah, and everything starts manifesting around you, and it's wild stuff. Uh, but do you want to rule a country for 200 years? People pick that because they believe in a religion. They believe in Jesus is coming back. So you can't pick that because, you're not Jesus. And the point of the Jesus story is so that you do that. Uh, because, to rule the universe for 2,000 years, blasphemy. And that's the programming. But do I want to rule my country for 200 years? A country, like for what? Right? But in 1776, the person I call my father was there. He was part of the group that started America, or his bloodline was Thomas Jefferson. And I don't know if he was the guy in charge or one of the 12 at the table. He won't talk to me about this shit. And I don't even know if it's really real or an implanted memory from the CIA, which that's what they do. They fuck with people, they implant memories, and then they control you. I don't really know. You only have access to go backwards uh, if it's part of your bloodline. So if you play with the blood, who the fuck knows? Uh, but 200 years, 1776 to 1977, 1776 to 1976. That's when the United States got the mud flood, or the catastrophic event that tore down what was Tartaria. I mean, you don't have to. One of the pictures of one of my videos there, you can see it's a school, and in the middle is one of the Tartarian architectures, and they built a school around it. Tartaria was all over the United States. In the 200-year story about Christopher Columbus coming here in 1492, 500 years ago or whatever, that's nonsense. There's a Stonehenge that's 9,000 years old at the bottom of Lake Michigan. Like, it's silly. And then consider they got 7 Great Lakes. Champlain and Salt Lake City and Erie, Superior, Michigan, Huron, because we're in the 7 universe. And the Great Salt Lake turned into the Great Salt Lake because of Joseph Smith, right? The guy that started the Mormon Church turned that into the Salt Lake because he picked Christianity, but he was one of the gifted ones, but he wanted to be in charge, and he fell in lust, where you have a bunch of wives running around. Lust is the hardest one, especially when you're the guy in charge. There's nobody here for you. There's nobody that can connect with you, so you connect with everybody. That's gross. Oh, that was one of the questions too before I get to the universe thing, was if you could have any woman, who would it be for me? And then my answer was my wife. I love her. And then it was, well, your wife has been here 83 different times. Which version of her do you want? The 72 versions from Islam. That's where that comes from. That's the psycho walk questions. If you could have any woman, who would it be? And then once you pick the woman, or many women, there's multiple versions because of the bloodline. Which one do you want? And my answer was the exact one God gave me, the person I had the tantric sexual experience with. And again, unfortunately, it wouldn't work here. That's not how it works. But the point is I picked a person that I shared her heart. We shared each other's heart. You don't pick to fuck a bunch of women. That's ridiculous. And this can happen for a woman too. It's just the middle path. Somebody that has the balance of the heart and the mind. And the people on the other side can learn it. Wisdom from the teacher, the snake, the serpent that nobody wants to listen to, because in our world, everyone rejects authority. It's part of the programming. So do you want to rule a country for 200 years or your universe for 2,000? Oh, my dad, he went from Thomas Jefferson to Thomas Edison to Terry Cosgrove. And who knows? Again, that could just be CIA mind control stuff, MK Ultra nonsense. Um, but that was his path, and you can imagine how nasty of a man he is on the inside. Um, Thomas Jefferson, had kids with his slaves. That couldn't have been pretty. And then Thomas Edison stole patents and, made sure Tesla's technology wasn't adopted, which it's not Tesla's technology, it's Tartarian technology. All the buildings from Tartaria have beacons on the top, and it's free energy. And they took it away from us because they want to charge us money for an electric bill because that siphons off your monthly income. It's predictable. Predictable bills are the ones that create a good section of your expenses. So the more predictable bills they can make, the less they have to tempt you with credit card debt. But to rule the universe for 2,000 years in our universe, in our timeline, everybody picked that one. That's why we're all still here. 46,000 years ago, Neanderthals lost the female of the male DNA. Ever since, men have been more important than women. Ever since, somebody like me has made it to the top and made a decision whether or not to rule a country or a universe. If they didn't fall for one of the previous temptations of making a superpower, uh, picking to be the richest or the most powerful or whatever that might be, and then picking women, lust. Like there's one for each lesson: fear, anger, guilt, resentment. I'm sorry, money, power, greed, success. But the lesson we're all living in right now is control. And the guy in charge is trying to control everybody, not to be a dick. He's trying to play God and make everyone do what they're supposed to do. I sat and had a conversation with him back in October, and he explained to me that he's trying to make the reset come quicker. He wants war. He wants everyone to keep picking wrong. And the problem is all the technology. And if we can start over, he can just make some more rules so people listen better. And that's absurd. Nobody listens when you tell them what to do, nor are you supposed to. The whole thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. When somebody tells you not to do something, it's exactly what you do. And that's nonsense. You're supposed to do whatever the hell you want to do. It's free will. And then you pay the price for doing it. That's the lesson, free will. I'm not God. I don't want to control the universe. I don't want to be in charge of a country. I don't want to rape them. I don't want to have a bunch of women. I don't want to have one woman that's not meant for me. I want to be with the person that's meant for me, that can match my frequency, because I understand what love is now. Love is sharing life's experiences. So the female, that's for me is on the other side, who's climbed to the top of her consciousness, a pyramid of consciousness, and that's the only way I was gonna have what I wanted. And the only thing I want is love. And the difference between me and God at that point is essentially nothing, because it's just love. Like sure, God is the penumbra, God is the source energy, but God is love, and I'm love. But our spirits, male and female, we reside in the ninth level. That's what heaven is the ninth level, and it's just where man and women love each other. And above us is the 10th level, the penumbra, the source energy, and that's just love. That's all it is love, and you're supposed to share it with each other. So I don't want to rule the universe. I don't want to rule my country. But throughout time, people have done exactly what I've done, and they get a country or they get a universe, which is the religions: Yahweh, Allah, Jesus. Which isn't, Jesus' story is complete nonsense. But if you don't pick to do a new religion and you pick to rule the universe, you stay here and keep ruling the universe. So I think, I don't know. I'd love for you guys to talk to me about this shit so we can at least get it straight for the people that, we can write it on the cave walls so people can understand that come after us. Because we're all leaving. I say the rich and elite are staying in the 3D. The 3D is not here on this earth. We're going to a new earth, and we'll have a new solar system, I guess. And I want everyone to understand nobody's going to be abused. There is no hell. There is no damnation. Uh, Everybody goes to do exactly what they want to do, and all those paths are set up as I answered my questions. And the reason the Mandela effect's happening so frequently and abruptly lately is I tied a bunch of timelines together. My universe is huge. The universe, I'll get to that on the next one.